here with you.
Welcome to a new audio drama series called I'm Here With You. This series is co-produced by Angham Mardi and Lauren Pepperell in Arabic and English as a part of the New Conversations UK-Egypt Creative Partnership Program. For more details, check out the link in the description. If you're not already wearing headphones, we recommend putting some on to become fully transported into the sonic landscape of each story.
This is the Mental Health and Crisis Support Helpline. First, let me reassure you, everything said during this call is confidential. Please feel comfortable to speak freely. My name is Noah and I'm here with you.
I'm Joe. Although I guess you don't care about my name and you'll probably forget it in a minute. There are thousands of Joes. And I know you already know Joe isn't my real name. And that I'm trying to protect my identity in a world that knows nothing about privacy. I call this number every week and give a different name each time. First time I called, I had no idea what to say, but it seems some kind of bond has developed between me and this telephone number. Maybe it's because it's the only place where I can say what I like and know that someone is listening. I don't like talking to myself. I don't want to become crazy. What time is it?
3 a.m. in the morning.
Do you think the sun's gonna rise?
Of course.
When was the last sunrise?
Say again?
No, what you're thinking is wrong. I'm not drunk. I'm just scared and confused. I'm trying to escape, but I don't know how. Man, when I was a boy, I knew exactly what I was afraid of. I was afraid of the dark. Afraid of my father when he came home enraged from work. Afraid of exams, a normal kid. I was brought up the same way my father was brought up, and my father was brought up just like his father. The same for my mother. She turned out just like my grandma. The 5 generations before me could get control over their lives. Why can't I? I feel like someone's betting on my failure. Like it's some kind of plot against me. To be honest, my dad was a good man, but he had a real harsh way of dealing with things. He was one of those military types who could take command of everything real easily. I didn't turn out like him. All my life he's told me I've got no character. I only understand now what having no character means, and the reason. It's normal. When a child isn't allowed an opinion on anything, when a kid can't choose what clothes to wear, what games to play, or what friends to have, he won't develop his own character. We were children of circumstance, products of our environment. I didn't understand that at the time. But I decided I wanted to have character by any means possible. And one day, I had an idea. I went to a toy shop and asked the shop owner, "You got character?" He said, "Of course I do." And I said, "Okay, then give me one." He laughed and called over his assistant to tell him what I said so they could laugh at me together. Got angry, but only a bit. I was used to things like that from bullies at school, from bullies on the streets or at home. When I was a kid, there was no internet to ask how to develop character. It wasn't as easy as it is now. These days, you can find out what literally anyone is going to have for lunch. You can find out my problems weren't my fault from the start. You can ask the internet if a meteor is going to hit Earth. You can find out if someone on the other side of the world bought a new shirt or a new bag. They might even show you the color of their underwear. Houses don't need doors anymore. They have passwords. I have no idea how all that happened. It should have taken 1,000 years for life to change this much. Feels like just yesterday we were living in a different universe. That just yesterday, I was screaming as my mom gave birth to me. Now I'm 35 and not able to scream. It's not right for a man to scream. He's got to be strong, steady. Even if he's never been more terrified, he's meant to just deal with it, right? Sadly, I have no idea which person I'm meant to deal with. Even if I did know, I wouldn't deal with it. I'm so tired. I only have one more cigarette left to smoke while I tell you about problems that have no start or finish. I've no clue when they began or where they'll end. You never told me when the last sunrise was. Yesterday? Last year? 20 years ago? I remember 20 years ago, I had a real normal day. Rays of sunlight from the balcony lit up the house. A breeze beat gently against the curtains. The radio was playing. You could hear the same radio show broadcast all down the street. In those days, everyone's household functioned the same way. We'd sit around watching the same TV shows. We all had the same kind of TV that looked the same shape, and we'd all watch the same film every Thursday. We came from different backgrounds, but it wasn't obvious. I first saw her 20 years ago. I rubbed my eyes to check she was real. Took me another 5 years to believe it was true. Her name's Mary. She moved in opposite us. Her family were classier than ours. They had a car and put a big bowl of fruit in the middle of their dining room table. None of that mattered to me. None of those things ever occurred to me when I opened the window and yelled, "Mary! Will you marry me?"
Are you crazy?
You have to ask. Of course I'm crazy. Me and Mary moved into a small house that she hated. But she knew from the start I couldn't afford a bigger house. I had begun working in a toy shop, the same shop that laughed at me when I was a kid. My salary is low. We will never afford a bigger house. All my life I kept my dreams relative to my means. What little I have will do. My mom taught me that. Mary smiled when we hung our wedding photo on the wall. She smiled at me and at the picture. She smiled when she held our daughter for the first time, and when our daughter started to walk, when she started to run. But life has passed me by so fast, and my responsibilities keep getting bigger, and I got more and more on my plate, and now Mary's ambitions are blowing the roof off the house of the seventh heaven. I'm a simple guy. No ambitions, no character. Everything I try to do is never enough. I know how to quit smoking when I need to save money. I don't buy new clothes. I wear my work uniform all day and wear my blue shirt for special occasions. I don't go to the barber's, but I do spend money buying her flowers. Flowers? Her friend's husband buys gold for his wife. There's a YouTuber who bought his girlfriend a car. There's someone on Instagram we don't know, and we will never know, who bought his girlfriend a dress factory. Okay, well, why don't we go out for dinner? So long as I don't have to display the food so you can take a photo. I don't want to hear the ding 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 of your Insta likes drowning out the restaurant's ambient music. Or should we just stay at home? What do you mean everyone else is sharing their photos from Albania, Maldives, and Thailand? Well, how about all the people on the streets? Or our neighbors, they're home. Or all my colleagues at work. Or your mother and father, they're always home. As soon as I finish work, I start worrying about going home and who I'll be compared to today, and what new demands she'll make of me. I wonder if she watched a video about some new place that's been discovered where everyone lives forever, or if she's waiting for me to buy her a Tesla. I'm not Aladdin. Our fights have become a daily routine. Meanwhile, my daughter is growing up watching an endless battle where I'm the loser. She sees me as weak and irrelevant. She looks at me with contempt. I can see her thinking, why? Why? What, am I a crook? An addict? A murderer? No, I'm a father. And a father has some self-respect. I started working overtime. Not because of the extra money, but just so I can get away from the house. Today, my wife sent me a text. You're out all the time. You don't love me anymore. I know it's because my looks have changed. She didn't even try to talk it over. She just wanted money to go see a plastic surgeon. She gave me an ultimatum saying either we break up or I give her money for cosmetic surgery. My bad luck, beauty standards have changed, and now to be beautiful, you need plumped up lips and silicone cheeks. My mom was beautiful with thin lips. I don't have an Oedipus complex. I don't want my wife to look like my mom. I just want her to be herself. Even if I had the money, I'd never want to lay in bed next to a woman who looked different 24 hours ago. I mean, I started to accept her personality has changed, but her appearance as well. I'll end up married to a different woman. I stood there flicking my eyes between her text message and the toy shop safe where I store money. No. I might not have character, but I do have morals. After work, I went and bought an expensive packet of cigarettes and passed by the barber's for a haircut. Then, I went and bought myself a shirt, some fancy trousers, and new shoes before heading home. But I've had it. I can't do it anymore. I stood in front of the house, stiff as a statue, unable to go inside. I was too afraid to deal with it, scared I'd turn into a murderer or a thief, completely terrified. All of a sudden, I found myself running, watching people pass by with their eyes glued to their mobile phones, watching them craft life as a montage of images and display faces through filters. Whenever I got tired, I'd stop and smoke a cigarette, and then carry on running. Stop and smoke a cigarette, and carry on running. Stop and run.
Hello? Hello?
This episode was originally written in Arabic by Angham Mardi and produced and translated into English by Lauren Pepperell. Special thanks goes to Mahmoud al-Saghir for the sound design, and to voice actors Waleed Hammad, who plays the role of Joe, and Tahir Shah, who plays Noah. Thanks also to theater groups el-Qaadah in Alexandria and Alleyway Radical Theatre in London, and to podcasting platforms Komet Kashakeel and the Green Room podcast Alexandria. And to you for listening.